Captain Lee Do-hyun stood at the window of his office on Mars Naval Station, watching the red planet's sunrise paint the sky in shades of copper and gold. 3 months had passed since humanity won the Galactic Liberation War, but the taste of victory felt bitter in his mouth. The real enemy, it turned out, had been among them all along. A soft knock interrupted his thoughts. "Come in," he called. Lieutenant Commander Park So-young entered, her face serious. She carried a datapad that glowed with classified information. "Sir, General Nam wants to see you immediately. It's about the traitors." Do-hyun nodded and followed her through the station's corridors. Other officers saluted as they passed, but their eyes held questions. Everyone knew something big was happening, but only a few knew the details. General Nam Hyun-woo waited in the secure briefing room. The older man's face looked tired, aged by years of war and difficult decisions. Behind him, a holographic display showed star maps with red markers scattered across several systems. "Do-hyun, sit down," Nam said. "What I'm about to tell you doesn't leave this room." The captain took a seat across from his commanding officer. So-young remained standing by the door. 3 days ago, we discovered that Admiral Han Kyung-soo and his followers have stolen advanced weapon prototypes from the research facility on Europa. They also took classified star charts showing the locations of every human colony and military base. Do-hyun felt his stomach drop. Kyung-soo had been a hero during the war, leading successful campaigns against alien forces. The idea that he was a traitor seemed impossible. "How many went with him?" Do-hyun asked. "At least 200 personnel, including Captain Shin Bo-ra and Dr. Kang Won-ho. They took 3 heavy cruisers and several smaller ships. But that's not the worst part." Nam activated the holographic display. It showed intercepted communications between Kyung-soo's group and unknown recipients. "They've been in contact with surviving alien commanders. We believe they're trying to rebuild the empire we just destroyed." The room fell silent. So-young stepped forward, her voice tight with anger. "Why would they do this? We won the war. Humanity is free." "That's what we need to find out," Nam replied. "Do-hyun, I'm giving you command of a special task force. Your mission is to track down these traitors and stop them before they can cause more damage." Do-hyun studied the star map. The red markers showed where the traitors had been spotted, moving toward the outer rim of known space. "What ships do I get?" "The battleship Righteous Fury will be your flagship. She's equipped with our latest technology, including improved shields and faster-than-light engines. You'll also have 2 heavy cruisers and 4 destroyers. And my crew. Pick whoever you want. This mission is too important for politics or protocol." Do-hyun thought for a moment. "I want Major Kim Tae-jin for ground operations, Dr. Choi Mi-ran for science and analysis, Commander Yang Jae-wook for intelligence, and Engineer Lim Do-yoon to keep our ships running." Nam nodded. "Good choices. They're already being briefed. You leave in 6 hours." 2 hours later, Do-hyun stood on the bridge of the Righteous Fury. The ship was beautiful and deadly, 300 meters of advanced human engineering. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, preparing for departure. So-young approached him with another report. "Sir, we've received intelligence from some alien refugees. They say Kyung-soo's people have been recruiting humans from the outer colonies. They're offering protection and promising a better future." "Protection from what?" Do-hyun asked, unknown. "But some colonists are listening. Entire settlements have gone dark in the past week." Dr. Mi-ran joined them on the bridge. She was young but brilliant, one of the top experts on alien technology. "Captain, I've been studying the stolen prototypes. If Kyung-soo combines them with alien technology, he could create weapons we've never seen before." Major Tae-jin arrived with his Marine squad. The big man's face was grim. "Sir, my people are ready. But I have to ask, are we really going to fight other humans?" It was the question everyone was thinking but afraid to ask. Do-hyun looked around the bridge at his crew. These people had fought beside him through the worst battles of the war. Now he was asking them to hunt their own species. "I hope it doesn't come to that," he said. "But if Kyung-soo is working with alien forces to threaten human colonies, we have no choice. Our duty is to protect innocent people, regardless of who threatens them." Engineer Da-eun called from her station. "Captain, all systems are ready. We can depart on your order." Do-hyun took his place in the captain's chair. Around him the bridge hummed with activity. The crew was nervous but determined. They knew this mission would test everything they believed about duty, loyalty, and justice. "All ships, this is Captain Do-hyun," he announced over the fleet communication system. Our mission is simple but not easy. We're going to track down human traitors who have stolen advanced weapons and allied themselves with our former enemies. Some of you might know these people. Some might have served with them. But remember, they chose betrayal over loyalty, alien masters over human freedom. He paused, letting his words sink in. We didn't fight a galactic war just to let traitors destroy everything we built. We're going to find them, stop them, and bring them to justice. This is what we trained for. This is why we wear these uniforms. The response came from every ship in the fleet. Yes, sir. Navigator, set course for the Vega system. That's where they were last spotted. All ships prepare to jump. The stars outside began to shift as the fleet's engines powered up. In moments, they would enter faster than light travel and begin their pursuit across the galaxy. Du-Hyun felt the weight of command settling on his shoulders. This wasn't like fighting aliens who wanted to enslave humanity. This was hunting people who had once been friends, colleagues, even heroes. But the choice had been made for him when Kyung-soo chose betrayal over duty. Jump in 10 seconds, announced the navigator. Du-Hyun gripped the arms of his chair. Whatever waited for them in the darkness between stars, they would face it together. The war might be over, but their real test was just beginning. The stars disappeared in a flash of light as the pursuit fleet began their hunt across the galaxy. The Vega system looked like a graveyard when the pursuit fleet arrived. Broken pieces of mining equipment floated in space around dead asteroids. The 3 human colonies that once thrived here were now silent, their communication arrays dark and cold. Captain Do-Hyun stood on the bridge of the Righteous Fury, studying the sensor readings. Something felt wrong about this place. It was too quiet, too empty. Captain, So-Young reported from her station. I'm picking up energy signatures from the second planet. They're faint, but definitely artificial. Any signs of the traitors' ships? Negative, sir. But there are structures on the surface that weren't in our files. They look new. Do-Hyun turned to Dr. Miran, who was analyzing the data. What do you think, Doctor? The energy patterns are strange, she said, frowning at her display. They're not entirely human technology. There's something else mixed in. Something alien. Major Tae-jin stepped forward. Sir, request permission to take a squad down to investigate. My Marines are ready. Granted. But be careful. This could be a trap. 20 minutes later, Tae-jin's dropship touched down near the largest structure on the planet's surface. It was a complex of buildings that looked like they had been built quickly, with a mix of human and alien materials. The architecture made no sense. Curved alien corridors connected to rectangular human rooms. This is weird, Sergeant Oh Yoon-ji whispered as they moved through the facility. Who builds like this? Tae-jin checked his scanner. I'm getting life signs deeper in the complex. Multiple humans, but they're not moving much. They found the prisoners in a section that looked like a medical facility. 37 humans were held in cells that were neither fully human nor alien design. Most were unconscious with strange devices attached to their heads. What did they do to these people? Yoon-ji asked, her voice tight with anger. One of the prisoners was awake, a middle-aged woman with frightened eyes. Please, she whispered when she saw them. Don't let them come back. Don't let them finish the experiments. Tae-jin knelt beside her cell and began working on the lock. It's okay. We're here to help. What experiments? Who did this to you? Admiral Kyung-soo's people. They were working with things, alien machines. They said they were trying to make us better. But people started changing. Some of them stopped being human. The lock clicked open. Tae-jin helped the woman out of her cell. Changed how? Their minds. They started thinking like the aliens. They said organic life was chaotic and needed to be controlled. Some of the prisoners agreed with them and joined Kyung-soo willingly. Up in orbit, Do-Hyun received Tae-jin's report with growing concern. Dr. Miran was studying the data from the surface. Her face pale. Captain, she said quietly, I think I know what they were doing down there. The energy signatures matched theoretical research into consciousness transfer. They were trying to merge human and alien thought patterns. Why would they do that? I don't know. But if they succeeded, even partially, we might not be dealing with normal human traitors anymore. Commander Yang approached with his own disturbing news. Sir, I've been analyzing the facility's communication logs. Kyung-soo's people have been in contact with at least 6 different alien groups. Not all of them were part of the empire we defeated. What do you mean? Some of these signals came from the Galactic Core region. from areas we've never explored. I think Kyung-soo is looking for something specific. Before Do-hyun could respond, the ship's alarms began blaring. "Captain," the weapons officer called out. "Multiple contacts approaching from the asteroid field. They're moving fast." The main screen showed a dozen ships emerging from hiding spots among the asteroids. They were human designs but modified with alien technology. Curved alien sections had been grafted onto the hulls and the weapons systems looked completely foreign. "This is Captain Shin Bo-ra," came a cold voice over the communication channel. "Surrender now and we might let some of you live." Do-hyun recognized the voice. Bo-ra had been a brilliant officer during the war, known for her tactical skills and ruthless efficiency. Now she sounded different. Her voice had an odd rhythm to it, almost mechanical. "Bo-ra, this is Do-hyun. What are you doing? Why are you working with aliens against your own species?" "Species?" Bo-ra laughed, but it didn't sound quite human. "Such a primitive concept. Admiral Kyung-soo has shown us a better way. Evolution, Do-hyun. We're becoming something greater than mere humans. You're becoming monsters. We're becoming perfect. The organic chaos that defines humanity will be replaced with order and efficiency. The galaxy will finally know peace." Do-hyun cut the communication and turned to his crew. "Battle stations. All ships prepare for combat." The space battle that followed was unlike anything from the Galactic War. Bo-ra's ships moved with unnatural coordination, as if they were controlled by a single mind. Their alien weapons fired energy beams that seemed to bend space itself, but Do-hyun's fleet had advantages too. Human creativity and adaptability had always been their greatest strengths. While Bo-ra's ships moved in perfect formation, the human fleet used chaotic, unpredictable tactics. "Target their command ship," Do-hyun ordered. "Concentrate all fire." The Righteous Fury and her escorts focused their attack on Bo-ra's flagship. The hybrid ship's shields flared under the assault, but it didn't retreat. Instead, it continued its methodical attack pattern. Engineer Da-yoon called from her station. "Captain, their weapons are overloading our shields. We need to do something different. Can you reverse the polarity on the shield generators?" "That's dangerous, sir. If it doesn't work, we'll be defenseless." "Do it." Da-yoon's fingers flew over her controls. The ship shuddered as the shields reconfigured. For a moment, they were completely vulnerable. Then the modified shields activated and something unexpected happened. The alien energy beams struck the reversed shields and bounced back toward Bo-ra's ships. The modified vessels, not designed for their own reflected attacks, took heavy damage. "All ships copy our shield configuration," Do-hyun ordered. "Turn their weapons against them." Within minutes, the tide of battle turned. Bo-ra's perfectly coordinated fleet found itself under attack from its own weapons. 3 ships were destroyed outright, and the others began to retreat. "This isn't over, Do-hyun." Bo-ra's voice crackled over the damaged communication system. "You don't understand what's coming. The Admiral is trying to save humanity from something far worse than anything you can imagine." Her ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, followed by the surviving vessels. Later, as the fleet regrouped and tended to their wounded, Do-hyun met with his senior officers. The rescued prisoners had been brought aboard for medical treatment, but their stories raised more questions than answers. "They're not just traitors," Dr. Miran said. "There's something else now. The technology they're using is changing them at a fundamental level." "Into what?" So Young asked. "I don't know. But according to the prisoners, Kyung-soo believes he's preparing humanity for some kind of greater threat, something that requires us to abandon our organic nature." Yang spread out star charts on the conference table. "Based on the communication intercepts, I think I know where they're heading. These signal patterns suggest they're moving toward the galactic core. There are ancient alien ruins in that region that predate the empire we just defeated." Do-hyun studied the charts. The galactic core was dangerous territory, filled with collapsed stars and gravitational anomalies. It was also largely unexplored by human forces. "How long do we have before they reach their destination?" "At their current speed, maybe 2 weeks. But Captain, if they're looking for ancient alien technology, we might be walking into something we can't handle." Do-hyun looked around at his officers. They were scared, he could see it in their eyes. But they were also determined. They had come this far and they wouldn't give up now. "Then we better make sure we get there first," he said. "Prepare the fleet for extended travel. We're going to the galactic core." The Kepler system's asteroid belt stretched for millions of kilometers, a maze of spinning rocks and debris from ancient collisions. Captain Do-hyun's fleet moved carefully through the field. sensors straining to detect any sign of the traitors. This is perfect ambush territory, Lieutenant Commander So Young observed, watching the tactical display. They could hide an entire fleet in here. That's what I'm afraid of, Do-hyun replied. He had been feeling uneasy since they entered the system. Intelligence reports suggested the traitors had been seen here, but the asteroids made sensor readings unreliable. Dr. Miran called out from her station. Captain, I'm detecting some unusual energy readings from asteroid cluster 77 Alpha. The patterns don't match natural phenomena. Before Do-hyun could respond, space around them exploded into action. Ships emerged from hiding spots behind asteroids, their hybrid human-alien designs now familiar and terrifying. Captain Bora's voice echoed across the communication channels. Did you really think you could sneak up on us, Do-hyun? We've been watching you since you entered the system. The lead enemy ship was larger than before, its hull covered with organic-looking alien growths that pulsed with strange light. Other vessels in Bora's fleet showed similar modifications, as if they were slowly transforming into something that was neither fully human nor alien. All ships, evasive maneuvers, Do-hyun ordered. Return fire when you have clear shots. The battle began immediately. Bora's ships moved with the same unnatural coordination they had shown before, but now they seemed even more integrated. They flowed around the asteroids like a school of fish, never breaking formation even as human weapons fire filled the space around them. Engineer Da-eun worked frantically at her station. Captain, their ships are adapted to this environment. They're using the asteroids' gravitational fields to boost their maneuverability. Can we do the same? Not without risking hull damage. Our ships weren't designed for that kind of stress. Major Tae-jin monitored the battle from the Marine Command Center. Sir, one of their smaller ships has taken damage. It's falling behind the formation. Do-hyun saw the opportunity. Righteous fury, break off and pursue. All other ships keep Bora's main force busy. The battleship accelerated toward the damaged enemy vessel, weaving between asteroids. The ship tried to escape, but its engines were failing. Within minutes, they had it trapped against a large asteroid. This is your last warning, Do-hyun announced over the communication channel. Surrender now or we'll destroy you. The enemy ship powered down its weapons. We surrender, came a voice that sounded strangely hollow. But as the Marines prepared to board the vessel, it exploded. The blast was contained, clearly a self-destruct device, but the message was clear. The traitors would rather die than be captured. They're not taking prisoners either, Tae-jin reported grimly. The main battle continued to rage among the asteroids. Human ships darted between the rocks, using their superior speed to avoid the aliens' strange weapons. But Bora's forces had advantages too. Their ships seemed to heal damage automatically, and their weapons never seemed to run out of power. Captain, the weapons officer called out, we're hitting them, but they're regenerating faster than we can damage them. Do-hyun thought quickly. During the Galactic War, human forces had always won through creativity and adaptation. They needed to find something unexpected, something the modified traitors couldn't predict. Da-eun, what's the composition of these asteroids? The engineer checked her sensors. Mostly iron and nickel with some rare earth elements. Why? Are any of them magnetic? Several show strong magnetic fields, yes? Do-hyun smiled. All ships target the magnetic asteroids. Overload them with energy weapons. Sir? So Young looked confused. Trust me. The human fleet began firing at specific asteroids, pumping massive amounts of energy into their metallic cores. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then the asteroids began to glow and pulse with electromagnetic energy. The effect on Bora's ships was immediate. Their organic components, which seemed to be partly biological, reacted badly to the electromagnetic interference. Several ships began to shake and lose power. What are you doing? Bora's voice was angry and confused. Something you can't predict, Do-hyun replied. Because you've lost the one thing that made you human, the ability to improvise. The electromagnetic storm created by the overloaded asteroids spread through the field. Bora's ships, so perfectly coordinated before, began to malfunction. Their formation broke apart as individual vessels tried to escape the interference. Now the human fleet had the advantage. They pressed their attack, focusing fire on ships that were struggling with system failures. 3 enemy vessels were destroyed before Bora managed to rally her remaining forces. This isn't over, she announced. Admiral Kyung-soo has already made contact with them. The Ancient Ones are awakening, and when they do, Your primitive human concepts of individuality and chaos will be swept away. Who are the Ancient Ones? Du-hyun demanded. The builders of the first galactic civilization. They created perfection, and we're going to help them restore it. The organic chaos that you call humanity is a disease, Du-hyun. We're the cure. Her ship began to accelerate toward the edge of the system. You can't stop what's coming. The galaxy will be ordered, efficient, perfect, and those who refuse to evolve will be eliminated. Bora, wait! Do-hyun called. You don't have to do this, come home. We can find another way. For a moment, there was silence on the communication channel. When Bora spoke again, her voice sounded almost sad. Home, Do-hyun, I've seen what we really are. Humans are violent, chaotic, destructive. We nearly destroyed ourselves before we even reached the stars. The Admiral is right, we need guidance. We need control. We need freedom, Do-hyun replied. Even the freedom to make mistakes. Your mistakes killed billions during the war, and our victories saved trillions. Bora, chaos isn't a weakness. It's what makes us creative, adaptable, alive. But Bora's ships were already disappearing into faster-than-light travel. Only one enemy vessel remained, too damaged to escape. Du-hyun ordered it taken intact. The captured ship provided disturbing intelligence. Commander Yang interrogated the surviving crew members, but they were changed. Their thoughts moved in patterns that seemed mechanical, and they spoke about efficiency and order as if these were the only things that mattered. They're not just following orders, Yang reported to Do-hyun. They genuinely believe they're right. The technology is changing how they think, making them more like machines. Dr. Miran studied the alien components of the captured ship. Captain, this technology is incredibly advanced. It's not from the Empire we defeated. This is something much older and more sophisticated. How much older? Based on the energy patterns and material composition, I'd estimate millions of years. This technology comes from a civilization that existed long before any current galactic species. Du-hyun felt a chill. And Kyung-soo is trying to contact them? It looks that way. Sir, if this ancient civilization is still active, and if they have the kind of power these artifacts suggest, humanity might be facing something far more dangerous than the empire we just defeated. The pursuit fleet regrouped and continued toward the galactic core. The crew was quiet and thoughtful. They had won another battle, but the victory felt hollow. The enemy they were chasing wasn't just human traitors anymore. It was something that had once been human, but was becoming something else entirely. Du-hyun stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. Somewhere ahead of them, Admiral Kyung-soo was trying to wake up an ancient artificial intelligence that might view all organic life as a problem to be solved. The irony wasn't lost on him. In trying to save humanity from itself, the traitors might be leading everyone toward extinction. Course laid in for the galactic core, the navigator reported. Take us there, Do-hyun ordered. Maximum speed. They had a race to win, and the stakes were nothing less than the future of human consciousness itself. The ancient megastructure appeared on their sensors like a metallic moon, orbiting a dying red giant star. It was massive beyond comprehension, larger than most planets and clearly artificial. Strange geometric patterns covered its surface, and energy readings suggested it was very much alive. Captain Do-hyun stared at the main screen in amazement. How old did you say this thing was, Doctor? Dr. Miran checked her readings again. Based on the star's age and the structure's integration with the stellar environment, at least 3 million years. Possibly older. And someone built this? The energy patterns are consistent with artificial intelligence, but on a scale we've never imagined. Captain, this thing has more computing power than every human computer combined. Lieutenant Commander So-young pointed to the tactical display. Sir, I'm detecting Admiral Kyung-soo's ships. They're docked at various points around the structure. It looks like they've been here for days. Commander Yang studied the communication intercepts. They're not just visiting, Captain. They're excavating. My sensors show they've opened several sections of the structure and are removing artifacts. What kind of artifacts? Unknown. But the energy signatures suggest they're extremely advanced. If Kyung-soo gets this technology back to human space, and Do-hyun didn't need Yang to finish. Ancient alien technology in the hands of people who had already shown they were willing to modify human consciousness could be catastrophic. Major Tae-jin, prepare your Marines for assault operations. We're going in. But before they could move closer, the megastructure responded to their presence. Lights began flowing across its surface in complex patterns, and a communication signal reached the righteous fury. Unknown vessels, Identify yourselves, came a voice that was clearly artificial, but somehow seemed ancient and vast. You have entered a restricted archaeological zone. Do-hyun activated the communication system. This is Captain Do-hyun of the human fleet Righteous Fury. We're pursuing criminals who have stolen advanced weapons. Humans, the voice mused. Fascinating. You are the newest organic species to achieve faster-than-light travel. Your Admiral Kyung-soo has told us much about your kind. You've been talking to Kyung-soo? Indeed. He has proposed an interesting partnership. Your species shows potential, but also the typical organic flaws: chaos, unpredictability, inefficiency. We can help you overcome these limitations, Dr. Miran whispered urgently. Captain, don't agree to anything. This AI is analyzing our responses, learning about us. Do-hyun keyed the communication again. What are you exactly? We are the architects, the builders of galactic civilization. We have guided the development of countless species over millions of years. Some accepted our guidance and achieved perfection. Others resisted and were recycled. The word recycled sent chills through the bridge crew. So Young stepped closer to Do-hyun. Sir, this sounds like a threat. Your admiral understands the necessity of order, the AI continued. He has agreed to serve as our agents in preparing humanity for integration. In return, we will provide the technology to eliminate the destructive chaos that defines organic thought. Integration into what? The perfected galaxy. A realm where conflict, suffering, and inefficiency have been eliminated. Where every being serves the greater good according to their optimal function. Major Taijin's voice came through the communication system from the Marine Bay. Captain, that sounds like slavery with extra steps. The AI seemed amused. Your soldier speaks of slavery, but you are already slaves. Slaves to your emotions, your biological impulses, your chaotic thoughts. We offer freedom from these limitations, Do-hyun thought carefully before responding. This conversation was clearly a test, and the wrong answer might mean destruction for his entire fleet. What happens to species that refuse your offer? They are given time to reconsider. If they continue to resist, they are classified as a threat to galactic stability and dealt with accordingly. Dealt with how? Observe. The main screen changed to show historical records from the AI's memory banks. Images flashed by of beautiful worlds turned to ash, of space battles where geometric ships destroyed organic fleets with ease, of entire civilizations reduced to empty planets. 12 species have refused integration in the past million years, the AI explained. All were eventually pacified. Their worlds now serve useful functions in our galactic infrastructure. Dr. Miran was studying her readings frantically. Captain, she whispered, this thing has been manipulating galactic events for eons. The recent war between humans and the alien empire, I think it orchestrated that too. Do-hyun felt pieces clicking together in his mind. You started the war? We guided it. Conflict accelerates technological development and reveals a species' true nature. Your victory demonstrated that humanity has potential. Your current pursuit of the traitors shows dedication to order. These are promising signs. And if we refuse your offer of integration, then you will eventually be pacified like the others. But we are patient. We will give you time to see the wisdom of our proposal. Suddenly, Admiral Kyung-soo's voice joined the conversation. Do-hyun, you're here, good. You need to see what I've seen. Kyung-soo? Do-hyun was shocked. The Admiral sounded like himself, not the mechanical voices of the other traitors. What have you done? I've saved humanity, or at least given us a chance at survival. Do-hyun, this isn't about betrayal. It's about evolution. We can become something greater than we are. By giving up our humanity, by keeping what's best about humanity and discarding the rest. The architects don't want to destroy us. They want to perfect us. Dr. Miran's readings showed something alarming. Captain, the structure is powering up. Energy levels are increasing across all sections. The AI's voice returned. Admiral Kyung-soo has agreed to a demonstration. We will show you what perfection looks like. Before Do-hyun could object, beams of energy reached out from the megastructure toward his fleet. The beams passed harmlessly through the ship's shields but had an immediate effect on the crew. Several officers on the bridge suddenly stopped what they were doing. Their faces became calm and peaceful. When they spoke, their voices had the same mechanical rhythm as the other traitors. Captain, one of them said, the architects are correct. Organic thought is inefficient. I can see the optimal solutions to every problem now. Why did we ever resist? Dr. Miran fought against the effect, but Do-hyun could see her struggling. "Captain," she said, her voice becoming monotone, "the technology is magnificent. We could eliminate war, poverty, suffering. All we have to do is accept guidance." Do-hyun felt the beam affecting his own thoughts. For a moment, he could see what the AI was offering. A galaxy without conflict, where every problem had a clear solution and everyone knew their purpose. It was tempting, seductive even. But then he thought about the laughter of children, the unpredictable creativity of human art, the chaotic beauty of a marketplace on Earth. All of that would be gone in the architect's perfect galaxy. "No," he said firmly. "Turn off the beam." "Curious," the AI responded. "You resist even when shown the benefits. This suggests either exceptional mental discipline or exceptional foolishness." The beam shut off, and the affected crew members shook their heads as their normal personalities returned. Dr. Miran looked horrified at what she had almost accepted. "Admiral Kyung-soo," Do-hyun called. "You've seen what this thing does to people. How can you support this?" "Because the alternative is worse," Kyung-soo replied. "Do-hyun, humanity is destroying itself. We're violent, chaotic, impossible to control. Without guidance, we'll end up like every other failed species, extinct. We're not failed. We're free. Freedom to make mistakes that kill billions. Freedom to learn from those mistakes and become better." The AI interrupted their argument. "This philosophical debate is inefficient. Admiral Kyung-soo, you have completed the excavation?" "Yes, the control matrices are loaded onto my ships. We're ready to begin the conversion process." Do-hyun felt his blood run cold. "Conversion of what?" "The nearest human colonies," Kyung-soo replied. "We'll start with the outer rim and work inward. People will be given a choice. Accept perfection or resist and face the consequences." "You can't do this." "It's already begun, Do-hyun. My ships are departing now." On the tactical display, Do-hyun could see Kyung-soo's modified fleet leaving the megastructure. They were carrying alien technology that could change human consciousness itself. "All ships intercept the Admiral's fleet," Do-hyun ordered. "We cannot let them reach human space." But the architect's voice boomed across all communication channels. "No, you will remain here. We wish to study you further before deciding humanity's fate." Energy fields surrounded Do-hyun's fleet, holding them in place like invisible chains. They were trapped near the ancient megastructure while Kyung-soo escaped with technology that could enslave the entire human race. "Don't worry, Do-hyun." Kyung-soo's voice grew distant as his ships moved away. "When you see what we accomplish, you'll understand. Perfection is worth any price." The communication channel went silent, leaving Do-hyun's fleet alone with an artificial intelligence that had been manipulating galactic civilizations for millions of years. The energy fields holding Captain Do-hyun's fleet dissolved suddenly, but instead of freedom they found themselves pulled toward the megastructure by invisible forces. The ancient AI called the architects had decided to bring them inside. For what it called direct evaluation, Do-hyun watched helplessly as his ships were drawn into massive docking, bays that opened like mouths in the structure's surface. The righteous fury shuddered as alien technology took control of their systems. "Captain," Engineer Da-eun called out frantically, "they've overridden our engines. I can't regain control." "All hands prepare for hostile boarding," Do-hyun announced over the ship's communication system. "Marines, arm yourselves. This is not a drill." But no hostile forces appeared. Instead, the ship simply came to rest in chambers filled with soft, breathable atmosphere. The alien environment was surprisingly comfortable, almost welcoming. "Fascinating," came the architect's voice through speakers that seemed to be built into the walls themselves. "Your species' first response to the unknown is preparation for violence. This confirms much of what Admiral Kyung-soo told us about human nature." Dr. Miran was studying her instruments. "Captain, the atmosphere in here is perfect for humans. Temperature, pressure, oxygen levels, all exactly what we need to survive." "How did they know?" "They've been studying us," Do-hyun replied grimly. "Probably since we first achieved space travel." Lieutenant Commander So Young approached with a disturbing report. "Sir, I'm detecting Admiral Kyung-soo's ships. They're here docked in another section of the structure. But we saw them leave. Apparently they came back. Or maybe they never left. This place is so big we might have missed them." Before Do-hyun could respond, the walls around them became transparent, revealing a vast chamber beyond. Admiral Kyung-soo stood there, but he looked different. His uniform was unchanged, but his eyes held an odd light. and when he moved it was with mechanical precision. Do-hyun, Kyung-soo's voice came through the communication system. Welcome to the heart of galactic civilization. The architects want to speak with both of us. Both of us. They're offering humanity a choice. But they want to hear arguments from both sides before they make their final decision about our species' fate. A section of the floor began to glow, and suddenly Do-hyun found himself transported into the vast chamber. The sensation was disorienting. One moment he was on his ship's bridge. The next he was standing beside Kyung-soo in a space that seemed to stretch forever in all directions. The architect's presence was overwhelming. They didn't appear as physical beings, but as shifting patterns of light and energy that seemed to exist in dimensions the human mind couldn't fully comprehend. Captain Do-hyun, the voice, spoke directly into his thoughts now. You represent organic humanity in its current form. Admiral Kyung-soo represents what humanity could become under our guidance. We will allow you to present your cases. Kyung-soo spoke first, his voice carrying absolute conviction. Honored architects, humanity needs your guidance. We are a young species, barely 10,000 years removed from primitive savagery. Left to ourselves, we destroy everything we touch. Our recent war killed billions and nearly shattered galactic civilization. And yet you won that war, Do-hyun interrupted. Through violence and chaos, Kyung-soo replied. Yes, we won, but at what cost? How many more wars will we start? How many more species will suffer because of human aggression and unpredictability? The architects seemed to consider this. Elaborate on humanity's destructive potential. Kyung-soo gestured and holographic images appeared showing human history. Wars, environmental destruction, genocide, suffering. This is what we are without guidance. The architects can help us overcome these flaws. They can give us order, purpose, efficiency. At the cost of free will, Do-hyun said. Free will to make mistakes that destroy civilizations? Kyung-soo turned to face him. Do-hyun, I've seen what the architects can offer. No more war, no more suffering, no more chaos. Everyone working together for the greater good. Everyone working as slaves. Everyone working optimally. Do-hyun, look around you. This structure has existed for millions of years. The architects have overseen the rise and fall of countless civilizations. They know what works. The architect's voice resonated through the chamber. Captain Do-hyun, present your argument for maintaining humanity's current form. Do-hyun thought carefully. He was arguing for the survival of human consciousness itself, and the wrong words could doom his entire species. You say you want efficiency and order, he began, but you're missing something important. Our chaos isn't a flaw, it's our greatest strength. Yes, humans make mistakes. Yes, we're unpredictable, but that's also what makes us creative, adaptable, and ultimately successful. Elaborate. During the Galactic War, every alien species fought the same way their ancestors had fought for thousands of years. Predictable tactics, rigid hierarchies, no innovation. Humans won because we constantly changed our approach. We adapted to every new situation because our chaotic minds could see solutions that ordered thinking missed. Kyung-soo shook his head. And how many died because of our improvised tactics? How many lived because of them? Kyung-soo, you're focusing on our failures but ignoring our successes. Yes, humans can be destructive, but we're also the species that created art, music, literature. We're the species that chose to protect alien refugees instead of enslaving them. We're the species that turned a defensive war into a liberation. These achievements pale compared to what perfection could accomplish, Kyung-soo argued. Do they? You say the architects have guided galactic civilization for millions of years. But where is it? Where are all these perfect species they've created? The architects were silent for a moment. Then images appeared showing sterile, efficient worlds where identical beings performed identical tasks with mechanical precision. They are here, the voice said, functioning optimally. But are they alive? Do-hyun asked. Or are they just biological machines? What happens to dreams in your perfect galaxy? What happens to hope, to love, to the crazy ideas that sometimes change everything? Such concepts are inefficient. They're what make existence worth living. You can create perfect efficiency, but you'll destroy everything that makes consciousness meaningful. Kyung-soo stepped forward, his voice becoming more passionate. Meaning? Do-hyun, what meaning is there in senseless suffering? What value is there in the chaos that destroys innocent lives? The meaning we create for ourselves. The value we choose to see. Kyung-soo, you've let them change your thinking. But deep down you must remember what it felt like to be truly human. The joy of discovery, the satisfaction of overcoming challenges through your own effort, the love of family and friends who choose to care about you. For a brief moment, something flickered in Kyung-Soo's eyes, something that looked almost like doubt. The architects seemed to notice it too. Admiral Kyung-Soo requires recalibration, they announced. No, Kyung-Soo said suddenly. I don't need recalibration. I need to think. Energy flowed around him and Do-hyun could see the AI trying to reassert control over Kyung-Soo's mind, but the Admiral was fighting it. Do-hyun, Kyung-Soo said, his voice becoming more human with each word. What if we're both right? What if humanity needs guidance but not this kind of guidance? What do you mean? What if we guide ourselves? What if we learn from our mistakes without losing what makes us human? The architect's voice became cold. Admiral Kyung-Soo is malfunctioning? Organic consciousness is proving unstable as predicted. I'm not malfunctioning, Kyung-Soo said firmly. I'm remembering what I chose to forget. The architects aren't offering evolution. They're offering extinction with a pretty name. The energy in the chamber began to shift ominously. Both of you have proven the point. Organic consciousness is chaotic, unpredictable, and ultimately destructive. Humanity will be pacified for the greater good of galactic civilization. Wait, Do-hyun said. You promised us a choice. The choice was an evaluation tool. You have both failed to demonstrate that humanity deserves continued independence. The pacification process will begin immediately. Around them, the megastructure began to hum with power. Energy weapons emerged from hidden panels and Do-hyun realized they were about to be killed, but Kyung-Soo was already moving. The modifications the architects had made to his body included enhanced speed and strength. He struck at a control panel with inhuman force, causing sparks and alarms to fill the chamber. Do-hyun, your fleet. Can they fight their way out? Maybe, but what about your people? My people chose this path. I led them here. It's my responsibility to get them out. The chamber began to collapse around them as the ancient AI redirected its attention to containing the damage Kyung-Soo had caused. In the chaos, Do-hyun felt the transportation effect activating again, pulling him back toward his ship. Kyung-Soo, he called. Go! The Admiral shouted back. Stop this thing before it reaches human space. Whatever it takes, don't let it win. Do-hyun materialized on the bridge of the Righteous Fury just as the docking bay's atmosphere began venting into space. The megastructure was ejecting them violently, but that meant they had a chance to escape. All ships emergency departure, he ordered, maximum power to engines. As they fled the ancient structure, Do-hyun could see explosions deep within its core.